Okay, we're in Vado right now in someone's yard. As you can see, communities today are left picking up the pieces and trying to figure out what happens next because of the extremely strong rains that we saw last night. In a matter of hours, this community flooding as we saw inches of rain.
Ya cuando iba subiendo, mira hasta dónde subió.
Well, I just finished talking to a man who lives in this home right here, and he said that last night he saw that water getting higher and higher, and he made the split-second decision to get his family out. He says that all of the electricity for his home is under this mobile home, and he said he was concerned about what would happen if that water reached any higher. See, he's just talking about the fear they had of the rain just keep coming and coming and the water getting higher and higher, trying to go to bed and not knowing if that water would raise even more, especially after seeing everything that happened over in central Texas. He says his wife was a lot more concerned and nervous. Wow. So I don't know if you can see, but there's a chicken right over there. And he was just telling me that he had to let his chickens free last night to make sure that they didn't drown. Entonces, ¿cómo se siente ver esto en su casa?
Pues estresado.
Sí. He's not the only one dealing with this. There's neighbors throughout the entire neighborhood. Some areas being hit even harder, and it's just going to be a lot of work. And I think really at this point, only time will tell what happens. Well, we saw a lot of rain and we saw a lot of it really fast. So we're bringing in Evan. Can you kind of explain to us why we saw this much rain in that amount of time? And I've also been talking to people who say they're worried about seeing more rain tonight. Is that something we could be seeing?
You know, Vanya, I don't think the rain chances are anywhere near as high as what we saw yesterday. I'm not going to completely rule them out of the forecast, but again, it won't be anything like we saw yesterday. And this is a look at the water vapor imagery from yesterday evening, really from about 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. And you can see that we were stuck in this big plume of monsoon moisture directly over the borderline, also being given some extra energy or extra fuel from a big upper level area of low pressure along the Texas Panhandle and Oklahoma Panhandle. And so when you combine all that together, there was a lot of juice, a lot of fuel for the thunderstorms to work with yesterday. And so when they tapped into that, they could really produce a lot of rainfall yesterday. And you can take a look at the radar imagery from about 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. yesterday. Storms started to fire just south of Vado at 5 o'clock, and then they really started to overspread the area as outflow boundaries collided, and it sparked up new activity in and around Vado in Mesquite, Barino, also Anthony. All that thunderstorm activity was able to drop rainfall very, very quickly. We saw rainfall rates of 2 to 4 inches per hour, and it rained for about maybe 60 to 90 minutes at that speed. So we picked up a lot of rainfall in a very little amount of time. And of course, that's going to lead to flash flooding in parts of these areas. And you check out some of these impressive totals. We're talking about over 4.5 inches near the Barino area, just about 3¼ inches, 3.5 inches just north of Vado, in between Vado and Mesquite along I-10, and then maybe 2.8 inches, 2¾ inches near Anthony, Texas. So a lot of rainfall in a little amount of time. That 4.7, by the way, to put that in perspective, El Paso averages about 8.89 inches of rain per year. So that's almost half in just about an hour or two. So that is a lot of rainfall in not a lot of time. I'm not going to completely rule out rain chances tonight, still going to about 10%, but we're going to be dry for tomorrow. That is the good news, as it gives people in Vado time to recover from the floods.
Well, we do have teams across the area. We have Julia Spencer over in Barino, and we'll check in with her in just a few moments. But first, we're going to check in with Melissa, who's been in Vado all day. Can you kind of just talk us through what you've been seeing and hearing throughout the day?
Right, well, just driving here itself was kind of a challenge. I mean, a lot of the roadways here happen to be very similar to dirt roads. So again, just the tires, you can feel them, just how hard it was trying to get here. But then once you got here to this area, so right here, this is Mosquito Court, and I mean, you can just clearly tell there's a lot of water around us. And I did speak to residents who live in this mobile home right here. They said that there used to be horses right there, but not just here. Now, just a street over, I also saw other residents who are trying to mitigate the situation with them having pumpers to try and remove some of that water inside their homes. Others taking literal brooms and pushing the water to nearby drainages. So again, going back to the family that I spoke to who lives here, they said they're moving their horses. They're over in Anthony, New Mexico right now. But again, just to hear more from them, take a listen.
I mean, we have no way of getting in here to our homes. So it's just, it's hard. But within 20 minutes, it filled up here with water, and then within 2 hours, it was up 4 feet. So it's just it was very hard, very rapid, and we had no time to do anything.
Adan Salazar and Amy Nolasco are just one of the many families impacted by Tuesday's flash floods in Vado.
What we're doing right now is we all got together. I brought some of my co-workers with me, and also my in-laws are here. And so we're trying to clean up all this mess here, and we dug a hole over here. We're planning to put a submersible pump there, but we still haven't gotten it.
Nolasco tells me they had to move their horses to safety.
We moved them down to Anthony because some of our friends reached out to help us. We're looking to bring our animals back as soon as we can because boarding costs, they're very expensive.
Meanwhile, just a street over, Angela Corchado and her family woke up to water inside their home.
At night was when I felt the water. It was when I put down my feet from my bed and it was full of water. Right now, my son is the one who is cleaning. He's pumping the water with a machine so it can all be taken out, whatever he can.
And residents are calling for Doña Ana County's help.
Yes, our concern is our livestock. They do have a lot of feces. We have our septic tanks right here. So we just don't want the water to get contaminated since it has nowhere to go. It'll stay here for months and months if we don't move it ourselves.
Have a team coverage. This wasn't the only area that was hit pretty strong by this rain. So we're sending things over to Julia. Can you kind of talk to us about what you're seeing and where you're at?
That's right, Vanya. I'm here in Barreno, New Mexico. Right behind me, this road in this neighborhood is so damaged. There's so much water here. It doesn't look like a road anymore. It looks like a river. Now, families in this neighborhood aren't able to leave or exit this area and are essentially stuck within their homes. Now, they also described that the flooding hit so fast from yesterday's storms that they've never seen anything like it.
We don't have anybody helping us. So at the end of the day, we're the ones that have to fix everything.
Isela Tellez has lived in Barreno, New Mexico for 30 years, just off of Calle Al Rumble Road, and says she's never seen storm damage like this. Tuesday's rain turned the road and part of her driveway into thick mud, flooding the area, making it impossible to come or go.
Well, it's like a river rushing down, like if the river bursted, because you can hear the water running so fast, you think that you're on the side of the river.
Tellez says that the storm also exposed water pipes under the road, pipes that eventually burst, leaving her and her neighbors without water for hours.
Yesterday, we stayed without water since about, I want to say maybe 7 o'clock. But as you can see, the water pipes are exposed. We're hoping they'll come and at least cover them up.
But help doesn't seem to be coming. Tellez says she was told the road is private, meaning the damage isn't covered.
We have reached out to the county. Unfortunately, we can't get nothing because it is considered private road. The county says it's not maintained by the county, so we're responsible for whatever damages we have to fix on our own.
And now Tellez says she's caught in the middle.
The county will say it's the seller's responsibility because they were to have fixed the roads before they sold. And the seller says that no, it's the county. So we're stuck in the middle. We don't have anybody helping us. So at the end of the day, we're the ones that have to fix everything.
Well, from talking to all of these people, there's obviously still a lot of uncertainty, but we'll continue to keep you covered. Now, we do have more ARC coming up after the break.
I want to hear about class sizes, teacher retention, teacher pay raise, because I don't think that SISD has addressed that yet.